Hi, I'm Eliana Marzullo.
And I'm Alina Zerpa, and you're watching Red, White, and News.
The 4th of July was quite a celebration in Washington, D.C. this week. With the historical sites perfect for a fireworks outing, the town was full of tourists excited to celebrate the holiday. Here is NSLC's Rochelle LeGrand with the story.
So we're here in Old Town, Virginia with the National Student Leadership Conference celebrating July 4th, however, on July 3rd. And I'm here with TA Caroline Harrell. Now Caroline, why is it that we're celebrating July 4th today instead of tomorrow?
Well, DC's a big city, and so during the 4th of July there's a lot of people out, and it's really hard to keep track of all the students. Plus the boat cruise is a really great way for you all to be together and not in a spread out place and have a nice dinner and get to see a lot of the Potomac and DC and Virginia. This is really just a better option for us and really just a more sensible option for the NSLC program.
Okay, and what can the students expect on the boat cruise?
So they have dancing and dinner, and there are going to be lots of fireworks later on over Alexandria. It's going to be really pretty. It's a really cool event.
DC Police Chief Kathy Lanier stated there was a full department deployment, so everyone is working. About the influx of people, we're used to large crowds coming here. Shoot, after the last inauguration, this is a walk in the park for us. There were other events that also brought more people to visit the nation's capital. Parades and folk festivals were also a big event. Concerts, as well as the Capitol 4th concert and the Washington Monument grounds, but overall the crowds were enormous and security were definitely on duty trying to keep the crowds from getting too chaotic. And I'm Rochelle LeGrand, and now back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Rochelle. Despite the heat, it looks like the students of NSLC enjoyed themselves this holiday.
DC was recently hit by a huge storm, and its residents are still dealing with the aftermath. Our reporter in the field, Rebecca Lerner, has the details.
The metropolis of Washington, D.C. has had a major heat wave and an unprecedented storm that has affected millions of people. The D.C. area was without power for at least 8 days around the area, forcing the residents to deal with the stifling heat without air conditioning. The storm originated in Chicago, Illinois on June 20th around 10:15 p.m. 2 million people lost power along the storm's 100-mile path. According to the most recent research, 26 people have died as a result of the storm, and homes are still suffering damage. We go to our resident meteorologist, Adam Zirin, for the story.
The cause of the storm, to try to put it into as simple terms as possible, was an extreme amount of heat that lasted from the Midwest to the East Coast, and just above the dome of heat is the river of air called the jet stream, which is where weather travels along the jet stream, and the jet stream was right up literally just to the north of this big gigantic dome of heat. So where those two clashed is where the storm formed. Easily, without a doubt, we'll see severe thunderstorms between now and the end of summer. I mean, thankfully, the storm that came through was about a once every 4-year experience for Maryland.
Although many people suffered from the effects of the storm, Zarin sees it in a different light.
Put aside all the destruction that it caused, was just an incredibly fascinating experience for something weather-wise. I mean, with lightning that was nonstop, something that could stay together and travel together for hundreds and hundreds of miles. That just is extremely unusual. I mean, meteorologically speaking, it was just such a fascinating thing to watch and to get to explore and be a part of. Unfortunately, it just caused too much damage that we wouldn't want to see too often.
As of July 6, 2012, around 250,000 people are still without power. Fortunately, everyone is supposed to get power back relatively soon. In conclusion, let's remind everyone around the area to wear sunscreen and drink lots of water. I'm Rebecca Lerner from the AU campus. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Rebecca, for the story. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families.
Every summer, hundreds of students come to American University in Washington, D.C. to take part in a variety of different programs. There's a lot of activity on campus as students from around the world come to participate in conferences that specialize in many different fields of study. Michaela has a story.
Hi, my name is Michaela Lander, and I'm here at the campus of American University, where 2 summer programs are taking place. Both programs have very distinct final goals and approaches.
National Student Leadership Conference and Discover the World of Communication allow students to experience college life for the first time at American University.
The main focus of Discover the World of Communication is for high school students to have an extraordinary experience and explore a field of communication.
It's hands-on experiential workshops at a college level that students really get a feel for before college starts, if that's something they want to go in and study.
NSLC is known for its structured schedules and enforced professional attire. DWC, with more of a relaxed dress code, permits more free time each day. Students of both programs collaborate together in many classes, regardless of the different regulations and rules that apply to each.
The main difference is that the National Student Leadership Conference really decides to focus in on leadership, and leadership within their community, as well as within the field of journalism and mass communication.
And students in the program take one of our DWC workshops and then go on to do their leadership experiences.
Regardless of the program chosen, both have been successful in allowing students to explore their passion in communication. Back to you.
Thank you, Michaela. It sounds like the students of both programs have a very exciting summer ahead of them.
Student-teacher romantic relationships have been a problem for years at colleges and school districts worldwide. Many people believe that the line between being a professional teacher or coach and being a casual friend has been smudged. Both qualities are necessary for a strong leader, but what is the point of no return? How far is too far? Cole Greco and Christina Madera have more with the story.
Recently, Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky was convicted on 45 counts of child sex abuse. So, since we're at American University, we decided to interview AU professors and students along with DC residents to see what they think of the policy that is currently enforced at American University and if they think anything should be added to the American University Code of Conduct with student and teacher relationships outside of the classroom.
We went out to the quad at American University where we found a student who prefers to remain anonymous.
I have never actually read the Student Code of Conduct for student-teacher relationships. I have no idea what it says.
Have you been educated on student-teacher relationships ever at any school that you were on?
Never formally. I think I've discussed it at some points, but never in a formal classroom situation.
We also asked an SIS professor, Jim Lee, if he had ever been taught formally on the rules of student-teacher relationships.
Yes, but more through talking to your peers rather than a program, because I think most people understand that that's not right.
We asked a local pastor what his feelings and reactions were towards the Jerry Sandusky case.
Yeah, I think it's terrible. I think it's awful. I believe that God created parents to take care of children, and so therefore, if they abuse that by destroying them and their innocence, I think it's a terrible thing.
Another reaction to the Jerry Sandusky case.
Just the other day, I saw him on the news, and it's like looking at the face of evil.
As you can tell, professors were either informally or formally taught about the issue of student-teacher relationships outside the classrooms, while students were not.
Overall, both students and professors felt that student-teacher relationships are morally wrong and against their beliefs.
I'm Cole Greco.
And I'm Christina Madera, and thank you for watching Red,
White,
and News.
Thank you, Cole and Christina, for those very interesting findings.
For the past century, sports have been a major part of our society and are still growing in popularity. This being said, a new threat has risen that is a danger to all types of sports. For more, we go to reporter John Tomey.
Continue to grow more and more popular, so is the concern over concussions. Many notable athletes such as Sidney Crosby, Austin Collie, and Justin Monroe have experienced concussions and missed significant time and seen a decrease in performance. A few of these have even considered retirement. Many drastic changes have been integrated into sports over this, all the way down from youth up to professional sports. Let's take a further look.
You could even hear the fans reacting to the hit. McCoy was flat on his back and helped to the sideline by the Browns medical staff. He also hurt his hand on the play. Harrison, who delivered...
Concussions are traumatic brain injuries that result from hard hits to the head. These can be very common in sports such as football and hockey, but surprisingly in other sports like cheerleading. We went to find out more information on how serious concussions really are.
The external symptoms, majority of the time, are going to be something like scratches, bruising, things that you could visibly see from an injury.
Swelling, anything that can happen with an injury.
Many high schools across the country now require more rigorous testing to detect concussions and help student athletes avoid worsening their status.
In some of the schools and at concussion clinics, they have more advanced testing, which is, majority of what is being done at this point. Here, we're seeing students after the fact, so a lot of the testing is revolved around doing some baseline testing with athletes, and then after concussion, going back to that test and seeing how things go.
Well, there you have it. It's clear that concussions have become a major issue that is something that needs to be addressed with greater concern. Many people think concussions will ultimately ruin sports for good. We can only hope the necessary attention will be brought to this subject.
I don't think it's being blown out of proportion. I think just getting the awareness out there that these can be problematic and preventing them is really key. So I think it's not blown out of proportion.
Well, this last minute, Sidney Crosby fell a couple times, but watch Crosby there. He gets blindsided. I believe that was David Stepp.
For Red, White, and News, this has been John Tomey. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, John. The frequency of concussions in sports is definitely a rising concern for athletes and their teams.
Locally, our reporters had the chance to meet up with Madhavi Reddy, a local Indian dancer, to shine light upon the dance Bharatanatyam that is just as unique as it sounds. Reporter Clara Wilson and Emily Jowett have the details.
When one hears the word Bharatanatyam, one might think it's an exotic food or an unknown land. In reality, Bharatanatyam is an ancient spiritual dance that originated in India and has been performed for thousands of years all around the world. We had the opportunity to speak with a local Indian dancer and understand more in depth the portrayal of this art form. Here's my colleague Clara with her interview.
I'm Madhavi Reddy. I am a film major here at American University, and I'm going to be a junior in the fall. My entire family on my mom's side, all my cousins are dancers, and that is how my parents got me into it, and we were lucky enough to find a really, really good teacher in Charlottesville, Virginia. So she taught me all about this ancient form of dance called Bharatanatyam, and she taught me the techniques, the technical side. Bharatanatyam is also a lot about storytelling, so through the stories that she taught me and that I learned in dance, I learned a lot about Hindu mythology too.
Prior to dancing, the dancers must ask the earth for forgiveness.
It's always been a great way to keep me physically fit. I've done cross-country, dance, and taekwondo, and I can easily say that cross-country and taekwondo combined don't even match how much of a workout this dance form is.
In the future, Madhavi plans to spread her leopard dance around the world through film and performances.
Thanks, Emily and Clara. Looks like we have found a new and fun way to exercise. I'm Annalena Zerpa.
And I'm Eliana Marzullo.
Thank you for watching Red, White, and News.